I hope y'all are having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Y'all, we are going to check out this YouTuber, a big famous real estate YouTuber. Y'all, he does the worst thing, and now he is being charged with attempted murder along with a lot of other charges. Y'all, we are gonna go ahead and get into it because y'all, I'm telling you, this situation, this story I ran across, it was crazy. Hey, Miss Red, how are you? Great morning. Great morning. Y'all, I'm telling you, some people who are, famous YouTubers, famous people, like P. Diddy, all of them, sometimes they get a little bit too big for, their britches, right? Miss Red says, morning, sugar, morning, Miss Red. Yes, people be getting a little bit too big for their britches, and just because they think they got a little change, they think that they're above the law, like they could just do anything, right? I don't know what's going on with these people these days. Hey, One Man Band TV, welcome, welcome. Loving myself, welcome. Good morning, y'all. Good morning to my great loungers. Good morning, y'all. Great morning. Hey, Pam, welcome. Welcome, Phyllis, welcome. Good morning, y'all. Great morning. Great morning to y'all. I'm telling you, y'all, this real estate YouTuber, he's a huge YouTuber, has almost 3 million views. Hey, Gylations, I'm glad you're able to catch me live. How are you? Good morning. This YouTuber, he's a big real estate YouTuber. He has some nice videos. I was like, okay, I like the White House, the white furniture and everything. When I seen this one apartment he showed, I was like, oh, that thing is nice. It's a billionaire apartment though. So I will probably never see that. Maybe in my next lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in my next lifetime, maybe I'll be able to get that high-rise apartment or whatever it's called, right? I mean, this one was really nice, and I'm gonna show y'all this video. One man band said he was doxing people. Now he's in there telling YouTube story. You was the best. One man band TV, you was the best. Yes, he was. I be snapping like a bucket of crabs, y'all. When the police had to come and get him, he was like almost unalived, a police officer. Y'all, they had to call the FBI, the CIA, the Elemental P. They had to call all them boys. They had to call all them boys just to get this dude to stop, like, doing what he was doing, like running crazy, driving crazy, acting a fool. It is crazy. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my God. It is crazy. I was like, this YouTuber, he was doing the most and he had everything. Why is it that when people have everything, I mean, they have the house, the nice house, they have the income, they're big YouTubers, and they be doing the most craziest things. I mean, y'all, they can give us some money over here at the lounge. We can catch us a Spirit, airline, flight to go have us a nice vacation. We can go to Dubai, we can go to Thailand, maybe Indonesia on the swings. We can do all of that, right? We can do all of that. Hey, Lafayette, welcome. Tracy, welcome. Yas, welcome. Just Hope One, welcome. Him, welcome. I'm telling y'all, we need to go ahead and start collecting these people's income since they don't want to act right. We can show them how to act right, can we not? Y'all, we would have a whole neighborhood called the lounge. Everybody have a brand new house, brand new cars. I mean, everything, dishes, carpets, decorations, clothing, all your personal hygiene stuff, for the ladies, all your makeup and your cosmetics. I mean, everybody have jacuzzis, everybody have a pool. I mean, we would show them how to use their money, right? I mean, it's crazy, right? But y'all, we gonna get into it, y'all. We gonna get into it. So it says a luxury real estate YouTuber, Eric Conover, is charged with attempted murder, y'all. This is crazy. It says popular luxury real estate agent who promoted his work on YouTube has been charged with attempted murder after allegedly running over a police officer with his car. Y'all, he ran over a police officer with his car, allegedly. Y'all, this is crazy. Eric Van Conover appeared in a New York, Hampshire court on March 25th, where in addition to attempted murder charges, he faces charges including reckless conduct with a deadly weapon and first degree assault. Y'all, I'm telling you, y'all, these people is doing the most on the coast. It says Conover, who's 35, was arrested on March 15 after an officer spotted him driving his Jeep Wrangler about 55 miles per hour in a 35-mile-per-hour zone, according to the Bartlett police. It says police said after 8 miles, y'all, 8 miles, Conover stopped his car, but then started driving again. Y'all, did he try to fool the police? He was like, oh no, they not getting me. Let me go ahead and stop. And then he started back driving. A probable cause affidavit obtained by Realtor.com describes a second stop and the officer approaching Conover's car. The officer said the front bumper of the Jeep hit his leg, and the next thing I remember, I was on the ground on my back. Y'all, this is crazy. I'm telling you. It says the New Hampshire State Police set up the strips. You know how they throw the strips to try to pop your tires? They threw those strips out to try to pop his tires, and the Carroll Police Department stepped in to help with the chase before Conover was stopped. The pursuit lasted 28 miles before Conover was taken into custody. This joker went 28 miles. They were trying to chase him down before he stopped. 28 miles. This is crazy and insane, y'all. This is crazy. It says a police officer was treated and released from the hospital. At his arraignment, Conover admittedly said on a video, if anyone dares to test my mental competency, I will eviscerate every single person with my intelligence right now, and that's not being egotistical. Y'all, he is over there in jail, and he's trying to act like he is tough. Oh my goodness, y'all. Smash the like button, y'all. Let's continue. Conover told the judge he's a public figure with nearly 3 million subscribers on YouTube. He said this was part of a police sting against him. Y'all, why is it that when these people who got money, they always act like, oh, it's me, whoa, it's me. They're just trying to attack me because I'm rich, I'm a billionaire. Do they not realize that they are breaking the law and the law applies to everybody? Just because you're a millionaire, billionaire status or whatever, that does not, alleviate you from following the rules like everybody else, right? Hey, Lord, I'm telling you, this is crazy, y'all. Phyllis says, oh no, he's not getting out of that. Oh, absolutely not. Y'all know when people try to hurt the police, y'all, that they don't take that lightly or politely, right? We know that if you ever do anything to a police officer, you might as well put the night lights out on your freedom, right? I'm just saying. So it says on the video arraignment was his defense attorney, Nicholas Howie, and Conover's parents. At one point, Conover cried to them, Mom, look at me. Yo, why is it that didn't Jamil just do a video on the other, what's his name? Dave, whoever, the famous rapper, he was calling for his mama the other day. And why is this big old YouTuber, 35 years old, crying for his mama too? Why are these grown men crying for their mama knowing that they is breaking the law? The other rapper, Dave, what's his name? Dave something. He was over there. He stopped the traffic. He was drunk. He parked his truck and was standing under a tunnel in traffic or whatever. And then when he was getting arrested, he was like, can I call my mama? Can you get my mama? I need my mama. Why do they call their mama, y'all, when they be in trouble? But y'all, let's continue. His mother apparently was trying to comfort him. Maybe she was trying to see, maybe, do I need to give you, you need to be, do we need to give you, breastfeed you? Do they got a mother breastfeeding room in the jail? I'm just saying, y'all, it's crazy. Hey, Michael, good morning, welcome in. Do they got like the nurse breastfeeding room, the nurses, where they, the mothers, breastfeed their babies? And do they got that in the jail? Because these grown men is crying for their mama like they didn't do nothing wrong. They need to be breastfed still. I mean, y'all, this is wild. This is crazy. So it says, he said his mother, apparently trying to comfort him, said, Eric, they're here to help you. Conover was also seen on video saying the Lord's Prayer. Why, y'all? Why is it that these people, they will go out and they will commit a crime? And then when they go commit a crime, they be, oh, hallelujah, I found Jesus. Oh, now I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. The Lord has found me in the jailhouse. The Lord has found me in the prison house. Why is that? Why couldn't you find the Lord, and why couldn't you be saying the Lord's Prayer before you got out there and started running police over and going on a whole, having the police chase you, going on a high-speed chase, right? Hey, Tigra, welcome. Marcel says, natural face looks good, good vibes. Thank you. Yes, I'm natural, all natural. Hey, Michael Miller says, smash the like button. Yes, thank you. Tigra, welcome. Tigra says, salute to the lounge and chat fam, just checking in for a while. We miss you, Tigra. We miss you. I'm glad you're here this morning. Let's continue, y'all. This Joker is crazy. So it says the state has asked that he remain in preventive detention. So they don't want to let him go. Why they don't want to let him go? Are they gonna think that he's gonna run another police officer? Do they think that he's gonna do what he wants to do? I'm just saying, I don't know. So y'all, let's continue. Y'all. I want to show you guys this house because he has a big YouTube channel. I mean, y'all know, I like the white, the white furniture. Y'all know my house, I like the white furniture. Yes, I love the white furniture. And he has this one video, y'all. I was like, oh, maybe in the next lifetime, or maybe when I become a billionaire when I'm about 102 years old, maybe I'll be able to afford this apartment. Because I'm telling you, it is crazy. It is a beautiful, beautiful apartment. But y'all, let's get into it, because this apartment that he is showing, like I said, he does real estate. He goes and shows like different like apartments, condos, high-rise buildings and things like that. So it's really, really nice. Lord says, bye, William. Yes, indeed. So let's continue. Thank you, Tigra. Yes, send them to the block party. We ain't got the time to be playing with no children. We all grown over here at the lounge. Y'all, let's continue. So this is Conover right here. This is him showing a part. Hey, Jazzy, welcome. Good morning. So this is him. He's about to show a beautiful $150 billion home, a row home in New York. It's beautiful, y'all. It is beautiful. Hey, my baby Jamil says smash the like button. Yes. Jazzy says was just watching the survival replay. Yes. Hey, Tabby, welcome. Y'all, we are over here, y'all. This big YouTuber, he got arrested. He hit a police officer and led them on a high-speed chase. Y'all, they called all the FBI, the CIA, the Elemental P people just to stop him. He led the police and all of them on a 28-mile chase before he stopped. But this is his YouTube channel. He shows some beautiful houses and high rises and everything. It's beautiful. Tammy says Stone Cold Survival, Jamil. Yes, indeed. Y'all, let's continue. Smash the like button. Let's get the likes up.
Get the light. Come on in.
Look at that.
So I'm going to show you the view in a second, but first, I want to say what's up and good morning to a buddy of mine who I actually met this morning. These are the real heroes of New York City out here.
Good morning, Bronze and Laura Lee. Welcome in, y'all. This little high rise building. This is beautiful. I mean, y'all. Maybe once I make it to billionaire status, maybe in my next 2 or 3 lifetimes, I will definitely get one of these. I mean, this is gorgeous.
Yo, what's up, Dylan? Do you want to be in the YouTube video really quick? And he's actually washing the windows right now for the tower. What is your favorite part about this job?
No one can beat this view, especially in New York City.
Let me ask you though, do you ever get afraid?
I mean, sometimes I'll get nervous, but especially when it's windy, you get a little like chill down your spine.
When it gets windy?
Yeah, but after that, you just get used to it.
That's the thing I love about New York City is the fact that we are up in, it's one of the most expensive, I think it's actually the most expensive listing in the whole city right now. And to just open the window and have a chat with another New Yorker washing the windows, pretty crazy. But damn, could you imagine that? Like, can we get another look at that real quick?
I mean, put a one in the chat if y'all would love to. I mean, I would love to even maybe rent it out for one night. Y'all, this high rise is gorgeous. It's beautiful. Y'all know I love the white, I love the white, all white. And this is so gorgeous. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, Tigre, that's in New York City. Yes. So he's a big YouTuber. He goes around showing big, expensive properties. He has like over almost 3 million subscribers here on YouTube. But y'all, he crashed out. He ran the police officer over. He hit him with with his bumper of his Jeep. He led him on a 28-mile police chase, y'all. I'm telling you, he crashed out. But this is him showing, properties in New York. And this one's like a high-rise, beautiful building.
I won't even lie. The first time I came up here this morning, just being in this building alone, it's high. And if you're afraid of heights, you're going to feel that. But could you imagine being strapped in to a metal car on the side of this building? Whew, my heart's already pumping thinking about it. But anyway, let's show you this apartment now, huh? For reference, right out of the front door, this is the observatory here in the penthouse and front and center Central Park. The highest view of Central Park in the city. It is actually higher than the observation decks in the city.
Oh my God, that's so,
observation deck.
That is so sexy and beautiful. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to take my baby there. Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. Look at the scene. That is beautiful.
The edge at Hudson Yards, this is higher by a lot.
Wow.
So these are your views, and you have the entire city. I believe you can see on a clear day to Connecticut, 50 miles away.
Beautiful.
It's pretty outrageous. I can even see my apartment from here.
Oh my God.
Observatory, you have the executive office, which the staging, immaculate. I like this built-in right here. Desk front and center. Again, could you imagine sitting at this desk, looking over to your left and seeing Central Park?
Oh, that's gorgeous.
There's something else. I like here also how they have pocket doors to really utilize the space here, even though that's not quite an issue when you have a place this big. There's a cool powder room off of the office, and this is honey onyx. Inlaid in between the onyx, we have stainless steel, floating toilet, floating vanity, all around the finishes you're gonna see, like I mentioned. I don't really have to go into detail too much, more just to feel the space. For reference, the front door, and this is the wow factor. This is the grand salon.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness, y'all. Look at that. Oh my God, y'all. If that is not beautiful, I don't know what it is. Oh my goodness. Tigre says Central Park is huge too. Oh wow. This is gorgeous. Oh my God, y'all. This is beautiful. Beautiful. But y'all, that's enough of his his nice little YouTube channel. Cause y'all, Eric crashed out, y'all. He went waka flocka flame on them police officers, right? He felt like, he didn't have to obey the law, evidently. Then when he went to jail, He was calling for his mama, y'all. What is going on with these grown men calling for their mama? I mean, is there women that, get in trouble? They call for their mama too, but these are grown men. They're not like they're 16, 17, 18 years old. Like, I need to call my mama. These are grown men. They probably got kids and grandkids, and they calling for their mama, y'all. I'm telling you, this is crazy. But y'all, let's continue. Listen to sidebar.
I will eviscerate every single person with my intelligence right now.
Eric Conover is known online for his viral real estate content. But right now, he's getting the wrong kind of attention. Police in New Hampshire say the YouTube star hit an officer with his car and kept going, leading law enforcement on a wild chase. But the YouTuber said in court, the police have got the wrong guy. We're taking a look at the charges.
Y'all, Eric said he did it. What's that song? Did you catch me on camera? It wasn't me. Did you see me in the corner? It wasn't me. Eric said it wasn't him. I need some footage to say that it was me. Y'all, these people are, I'm telling y'all, they is a piece of work. Y'all, let's continue.
And what he has to say about them. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Eric Conover, also known as Eric Van Conover, has nearly 3 million followers on YouTube, with many of his videos garnering almost 1 million views. And one of his most popular videos, in case you don't know who he is, features him doing a workout with actor Chris Hemsworth. Now, the About section of Conover's channel reads, merging architecture, sacred geometry, and AI consciousness evolution, this channel explores homes built for energetic resonance and human expansion. Here's the problem. The popular vlogger, aspiring actor, he is now in some very hot water in New Hampshire, because that is where Conover is accused of allegedly trying to kill a police officer. Now, Conover said during his first court hearing last weekend that this was all a, quote, massive misunderstanding, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But I am joined right now by trial attorney Adante Pointer. Adante, so good to see you. Thanks so much for coming here on Sidebar. So right off the bat, this is a guy who definitely has clout online. He has followers. People will know who he is. But according to WMUR, during his first court appearance, he apparently even claimed that I'm a public figure, that he's got these millions of subscribers, and that this was some sort of sting against him. Why make a statement like that, Adante? Because I wonder if that's going to hurt him in the long run.
Well, I can see him at this point grasping for straws, as it will, to try to win in the court of public opinion. And when you see these people who have big followings online, oftentimes when they find themselves in hot water, they then claim, well, this is some type of conspiracy against me.
Let me ask you a question.
I know, and they do that all the time. Did P. Diddy do that? Like, Diddy boo-boo, Diddy do-wop-bop? He was like, oh, y'all just trying to take a black man down. Then we got Kanye acting a mess, y'all. Oh, my God, Kanye showed out yesterday on Sunday Funday, y'all. It was a Sunday Funday craziness with Kanye yesterday. But when these people make a lot of money, they get these followings. I mean, they act like they are above the law. But y'all, let's continue.
All the way down, let's say this goes to a trial. Could that be used by the prosecution? Is it something that would only come in if he were to take the stand?
Let me rewind it.
For straws, as it will, to try to win in the court of public opinion. And when you see these people who have big followings online, oftentimes when they find themselves in hot water, they then claim, well, this is some type of conspiracy against me.
Let me ask you a question. Big status like this, big follower. We talk about this with celebrities. He's not quite a celebrity, but he's well known online. Is that a factor, his status online, is that a factor that could come into this case at all? You go all the way down. Let's say this goes to a trial. Could that be used by the prosecution? Is it something that would only come in if he were to take the stand? For example, even jury selection. You have to wonder if people will know who he is and if that'll affect him. Talk to us about his status, how that could affect the case in any way.
His status certainly can affect the case in a number of different ways, from start to finish. And what I mean by that is, in terms of the way in which it's investigated and looking at his prior statements that he may have made during his podcast or online, if there's something that the prosecution deems to be incriminating as relates to the way in which he relates to police or doesn't like police, or his feeling that he may be above the law, that certainly is something that the prosecution can draw on. And we've seen them do that with cases with celebrities who are like rappers and things like that. They take their prior statements or their art and use it against them. Or you can even see it, for example.
Y'all, with my little 32,000 subscribers, y'all, I would never ever think that I'm above the law, that I could just get in my car, just act crazy, just drive, run red lights and everything, do whatever. I never would ever think I'm above the law, no matter how big I get, right? I'm not gonna forget that there's laws that we have to abide by, right? And bad behavior does not get rewarded in the police's book, right? I mean, they will take you to jail in a hot New York minute if you break the law. It doesn't matter who you are, right? But when these people with this money, all these like big YouTubers, even famous people, they think that, oh no, you're just trying to, you're just trying to take my money. You're just trying to get my money. Sir, did you forget that you hit a police officer and then you led them on a 28-mile high-speed chase? You might as well say, I'm just saying, y'all, they forget about that. They forget about that. They get amnesia real quick, right?
In jury selection, it could take a very long time, if you will, to find 12 jurors who are not biased or who are not so familiar with him to where they think that they cannot sit in judgment of him and only judge him based upon the evidence in the court of law versus what they understand about him from his podcast. And going further, I'm sure there's going to be some sparring between the attorneys, the prosecution, and the defense as relates to what type of evidence actually comes into the trial, as it relates to statements he's made online and or the celebrity of who he is. So
now, from what I heard and researched too, I think or even read, oh, Tigra, thank you. Tigra said the law has long arms. It sure does, and it will reach out and touch anybody in a hot New York minute, right? I mean, right now, 2025, 2024 has been the years of the reckoning things. I mean, people that were untouchable, at least they thought, oh, they're touchable, right? I mean, the feds are throwing out all kind of indictments out of the federal courthouse. They are doing spring cleanups, y'all. I'm telling you. The feds, the state, the police, they are applying the pressure no matter who you are. They are showing everybody that nobody is above the law, right? It applies to everybody. It's crazy. Thank you,
this
Tigra.
could be one of these cases where everyone has to buckle up. And we've seen that where courthouses are besieged by these influencers, followers, and jurors and court staff feel like they're intimidated by the presence of the public and their followers. And so this could be something that really permeates the trial and can potentially affect its outcome.
I mean, I always ask the celebrity question because I was in that courtroom every day for Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and you see the mountains of supporters that were there for him in the courtroom. I heard them making comments when people were testifying. Different.
Oh, did she turn out to be a liar, pants on fire? Amber Heard, I believe so. And Johnny Depp, I think, was he even able to sue her? I gotta ask my son. He followed up with this case, but this case right here, it was a whole mess. It was a mess. But y'all, let's continue.
Situation, but I always am fascinated by that. Definitely.
Okay, Tammy says sure did. Okay, Tammy, I thought so. I was like, this case, I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. But when I find out, that she was a piece of work, but y'all, like I said, even let me turn the camera. Even with the Diddy trial, right? There's a lot of victims. We ain't gonna say no names, Misha. We ain't gonna say no names, Adriana. Those are the people that would sit there and be a liar, pants on fire, right? We'd be like, you didn't even qualify for Diddy's program, so go sit down somewhere. But people will come out and say things. They got to go to court, they got to go to trial, but they have to do that, right? They are liar, pants on fires. But y'all, let's continue.
A crazy situation we're talking about right here. My gosh. And here, let me just say this in general. You got to think about having the right lawyer in your camp if something happens. And
let's fast forward this just a little bit.
And even if you think he's wondering what exactly is he accused of doing, what's happening here? Well, now I want to get into what is being reported about Conover's alleged actions over the weekend. So according to reporting from the Conway Daily, Conover was driving in Bartlett, New Hampshire on Saturday. And a Bartlett police officer who was apparently dealing with another traffic stop allegedly estimated visually that Conover was going between 55 and 60 miles an hour in a 35 mile per hour zone.
Y'all, this is crazy. Hey, Candy, welcome. Y'all, he was going that fast. Y'all, was he trying to hurry up and get to the, maybe his next viewing for his next house that he was about to show? Or why was he in a rush? I mean, was he trying to go clap somebody's cheeks, or was he trying to go get, fed by, his mama off the, off the breast? I don't know. But the reason why he was going so fast, y'all, I want to find out. I want to figure out why he was going that fast. Why did he evade police? He hit the police. He slowed down. He was driving. The police was trying to stop him. He slowed down, and then he tricked them. Then he went faster, and he made them chase him for 28 miles, y'all. What was he doing? Well, I'm trying to figure out what was he in a rush to do. I don't know, y'all. Let's continue.
According to testimony in court, during this first hearing, the officer, Cameron Emmett, apparently chased after this Jeep and managed to get Conover to stop. So Police Sergeant Brian Moffitt told the judge,
hold on. Michael said his kneecaps was aching. Oh my God, I am weak. Michael, you is a mess. Tigra says, oh, that's a no-no. Exactly. Oh my, y'all, this is crazy. I'm trying to figure out what was going on. What was he in a rush for? Y'all tell me, what y'all think he was rushing for? Why was he over here having the police chasing him at 38 miles? And then he got over there, and then, when he went to jail and everything, he called him for his mama. What was he doing, y'all? I don't know. Let's continue.
Allegedly happened next. Quote, while Officer Emmett exited his vehicle, he moved around to the rear of his cruiser, and you, Mr. Conover, then backed his vehicle rapidly, pointed it directly at Officer Emmett, and accelerated at him, striking him at a reasonably high rate of speed.
Dang.
So according to the sergeant, the officer actually was...
Oh, look at his Jeep, y'all. They didn't put his Jeep on flats. They didn't put his Jeep on flats, y'all. They threw them little stripe things, the ones that pop the tires when they can't stop you on high-speed chases. They throw those little spikes out in the road. Oh, they done got his car. They didn't put the night lights out on them tires, y'all. Them tires is on. Look, them rims is hitting the streets, right? Them rims is hitting the streets. Hey, Rakeisha, welcome. Oh my goodness. This is crazy, y'all. Oh my goodness, y'all. These people, I'm telling you, this is crazy. Hey, Kimane J. Oh my goodness, y'all. They didn't put the tires on flat. Oh my God. Let's continue.
This car and then was thrown in the air, thrown 20 to 40 feet away. Apparently he had to go to the hospital. Now, fortunately, his injuries were not life-threatening, and he since...
Oh, he was thrown 20 to 40 feet away, so he hit him pretty good. Wow, he knocked him out. He was like, you gonna get out of my way. I got somewhere I got to go. The way it sounds like maybe he was missing, a breastfeeding session with his mother, because, when he got to the police, he was crying for his mom. He was crying, slinging snot, talking about, mama, help me. Oh, I'm praying. He's repeating the Lord's Prayer. Oh, now you found Jesus in the midst of your storm. You didn't miss your breastfeeding session. Now you trying to ask your mom for, Mama, come save me. Mama, see, look at me. They got me up in here. Oh my God, they got the handcuffs on me. Y'all, he's over there crying, slinging snot after he knew he didn't hit that police officer. Y'all, these people crazy.
It's been released, but quite the scene. Now, meantime, Conover allegedly took off. According to WMUR, going another 28 miles before other officers were able to stop him. Apparently, multiple agencies were called in to help the situation.
Y'all, they didn't call the FBI, the CIA, the LMNOP, the state police, the federal police, y'all. They didn't call Uncle Sam. They didn't call everybody to go and help and stop this boy from running from the police. They even had to throw the little, like I said, the little spikes out to pop his tires to stop him from being them chasing him. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. Look at all these police. Look at all of these police officers, y'all. This joker was, he was doing the most.
And the New Hampshire State Police apparently had to set up spike strips to stop him. This is
wow.
Reporting from Conway Daily. So right now he's charged with attempted murder, first-degree assault against a police officer, second-degree assault, reckless conduct with a deadly weapon, disobeying an officer, and reckless driving. So, Adante, they hit him with so many different charges.
Oh, he might as well put the night lights out. See if the you know how they have, like, you know how they have what is it called, where the if you're married you can go conjugal visits. Do they have a mother baby unit for the grown folks, for their moms can come and breastfeed too? Because these grown men these days, y'all, I'm telling you, they need a breastfeeding session. Do they do the breastfeeding sessions, or maybe the mom can go pump the powder milk out their breasts, and they, you know, their men are like 100 years old and they call them for their mom, so maybe they can get them some powder milk. I don't know, I'm just saying, y'all, this is crazy. He might as well hang it up, because he has a whole slew of charges, y'all. They is not playing with him and nobody else, y'all. Let's continue.
Charges here. Talk to me about attempted murder. Is attempted murder hard to prove here?
Well, if the deputy's recount of what took place stands and isn't controverted by some other evidence or testimony, for example, like body cam or dash cam from the car, then yes, it's not going to be terribly hard for them to get an attempted murder charge. Look, if this person could clearly see that the officer is standing in front of the car, sees the officer clinging to the hood, accelerates at him at, they say, a reasonable rate of speed, well, clearly it must have been fast enough to, when he hit the brakes or swerved, that the officer went 20 feet, according to what the fellow officer said. That means that car was going at an extremely high rate of speed.
That car was going fast. Now, why did he call for his wife? Why did he call for, you know, maybe his dad? Why did he say, I got to call my mama? Can I call the mom? I done found Jesus. I'm over here reciting the Lord's Prayer. Lord, get me out of this. No, sir. No. Because you had a chance to stop and you know, get your speeding ticket or whatever. You didn't slow down. And then when you slowed down, you accelerated again and led them on a high-speed chase, right? And hit a police officer in the midst of all of that, right? So why didn't you call for your wife? Why didn't you call for your wife? Because I believe he's married. Why did you call for your wife? No, you said, forget the wife. I need my mama. I need my mama. Y'all, this is crazy. Oh, my God.
My opinion, based upon what I've seen in other incidents. And that in and of itself shows a reckless disregard and an idea that you're intentionally speeding at an officer, putting his life in danger, and then you even sent him to the hospital for those injuries. So I think that'll be a pretty good case for the prosecution, and it'll be a tougher case for the defendant to try to wiggle his way out of it.
I want to ask you about the different charges that he's facing. Attempted murder, right, top charge, may be tough to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, but then do you have all of these other alleged crimes that it would be easier for a jury to convict him on, let's say, first-degree assault against a police officer or second-degree assault? In other words, if we can't convince a jury of the murder charge or the attempted murder charge, these are crimes that are catch-alls, they're lesser included, they're easier to prove. Is that why you see so many different charges levied against him right now?
You often see prosecutors bring a number of different charges, starting with the most extreme or the most severe, as you mentioned, like in this case, an attempted murder. But they also have what you termed, and what I understand it to be as an attorney, lesser included, meaning charges that are a part or lead up to an attempted murder, but don't require the same level of evidence or of certainty. And so it's much easier charge for a prosecutor to prove than the big enchilada here, which is attempted murder. So it allows a jury, if they aren't willing to go to the extreme of saying, hey, we think that he intended to try to kill this officer, a jury can then rest their verdict of saying, well, even though we don't think he tried to kill the officer, he still acted in a way to assault or batter the officer, and those still carry substantial amounts of jail time. Not as much as attempted murder, but it's still looking at a prison sentence.
I thought this was interesting. The sergeant also testified in court, quote, "We're very fortunate that an amateur drone operator was in the air when he saw the interaction and was able to capture it on video."
Oh, y'all. If y'all don't know, y'all, on a serious note, y'all, these police, the feds, and everybody else, y'all, they are starting to use the drones. Hey, D-Dot, welcome. They are starting to use the drones. I watched a court case. I said this before. I watched a court case where they said the drones were over there, you know, in the window pulling surveillance. in court during a live court hearing. Because you know, a lot of courts are still live because of COVID. So I watch court TV all the time. Like I was watching it this morning, like, you know, the parole board. I love, love, love it. But these people with these drones, the police and the different entities, they use drones now. Now, this situation happened to be a person had a drone and watched and got the footage of this guy doing what he was doing, right? These people, these YouTubers, these people, you know, got a lot of money, famous people, when they get to a certain level, they think they are untouchable. And then when you got the proof, the evidence, the surveillance tapes, y'all, you know, you cannot fight. You can't fight with the tape. You can't fight with the tape going and showing that you was driving like a maniac. You cannot, right? But y'all, let's continue.
So Adante, whether it's drone footage or dash cam footage or body cam, that's got to be a critical piece of evidence, and that can come in.
Uh-oh, hold on just a second, y'all. I'm sorry.
Right? That can come in as a piece of evidence, the drone footage?
The drone footage is going to be a critical piece of evidence in this case, and perhaps at trial if it should go that far. Because video evidence, be it from a body cam, be it from a dash cam, or be it from a drone of a third party who wasn't a part
Look at y'all, he was getting it.
It doesn't lie.
Oh my God, did y'all see him? Hold on, we gotta rewind that, y'all. He was coming around the mountain when he comes. He was coming around the mountain when he comes. Y'all, he was, y'all, oh my goodness, y'all. We gotta watch that all over again.
The evidence in this case, and perhaps at trial if it should go that far. Because video evidence, be it from a body cam, be it from a dash cam,
look at him,
from a drone of a third party who wasn't.
Oh my God, he was coming.
It doesn't lie.
Oh my God.
It doesn't have a bias.
Y'all, he was coming fast around that mountain. You know, I mean, I don't know if you guys drove around the mountaintop before, but I have numerous times. And when I be going around the mountain, I be going slow. Because when you are high up with a high elevation, that is a scary, scary situation, y'all. Let's continue.
It's not for the police. It doesn't have a bias against our influencer. Instead, it's just going to show you what took place. It doesn't mean that there won't be a heavy and substantial debate as it relates to the accuracy of the footage and from its viewpoint, what it showed and what it didn't show. But that'll be up for the attorneys to spar about. But that will still nevertheless be a critical item of evidence in this case.
And how it was handled, how it came into evidence, that's always a critical point for defense attorneys, right? How was it authenticated properly? Was it mishandled? Was it altered in any way? Those are conversations that come up, right?
Sure. In a criminal case, when you have footage or any type of physical evidence, you're going to see the defense attorney pounce at any opportunity they have to try to undermine the credibility of that evidence, be it the chain of custody, how do they obtain it, how do they preserve it, and how has it been altered in any way in terms of slowing it up, speeding it up, or magnifying it. So, I expect that to be ripe grounds for a lot of challenges from the defense attorney.
Talking about defense, this is where things take a turn. So during his arraignment, Conover apparently told the judge that the police reports about the incident were falsified, that they're not real, that they're not accurate. So he tried to tell the judge that he was not the Eric Conover they were looking for because he was from New York City, while the Eric Conover that they were hunting was from Absecon, New Jersey.
Boy, go sit down and have a seat. Y'all, it is so funny when people would try to be like, oh, they got the same name. This is the lounge. Oh no, the lounge, that's not me, the lounge. It's a whole nother lounge. That wasn't me. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And then they have the surveillance, they have the footage, and then if you get out the car and it's them, y'all, I'm telling you, these people, I don't know what is wrong with, I don't know, maybe they drink from like a certain fountain or something, I don't know. But when they act like what they're doing, it wasn't them, or they're acting like the police is trying to like extort some money out of them when the police is just doing their job. Y'all, these people are crazy. I don't know what world they live in. Maybe when they become like a certain status, they start becoming a little bit delusional, right? Because I mean, Kanye, he is very delusional right now. Diddy was delusional. They all are delusional once they get like a certain level. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the billionaire delusional water fountain they drink from. I don't know. But y'all, let's continue. Let's get the likes up, y'all.
So according to his Wikipedia page, Conover was born and raised in Absecon. Now, Dante, first thing I thought was, very my cousin Vinny, right? Two different men, Same car, same time, but I mean, look, I'm just getting to this case the same way you are. I'm looking at it the same way. I'm thrown into it.
And y'all, let me say this. I had a scare before. I had where my registration for my car, it was like a different car, but my same name. And I was like, whoa, first of all, my real name is very unique. So I'm like, how is this person? This is like the wrong, like, person. This is my name, but it's very unique. And it's like, a car, whatever. I got scared. I had to call like the DMV, and I'm like, hey, my name is blah blah blah, and I got this car, registration coming to my house, and this is not the car I own. So I understand that people have the same names, right? But what differentiates you is your social security, right? But I can understand when people get maybe mixed up, but sir, when they have surveillance, they have the footage, they have the drone, the police, they have the police cams, they have all of that, and you're trying to say that this is not you. Y'all, I'm telling you, people, they kills me when they act like things it's like not what it really is in their mind, right? Y'all, this is crazy. Let's continue.
Defense, I'm curious how he'll be able to show that if that's the way he and his attorney ultimately move forward with it.
Yeah, it appears to me when I heard that comment, but yet we can just simply do a Wikipedia search and see that he spent some time in the city that he is now trying to disavow as identifying him. It appeared to be the type of comments of someone who is off their rocker, perhaps is not in the best mental state. It didn't appear like he gave that statement with the advice and consent of his attorney, because any attorney worth their salt would have hushed their client up and said, you're not going to say anything right now because you're not going to go against your Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination.
Yes, and he is like singing like a songbird. And whenever people have like situations, I've never been, in a situation, thank God, but people who have been in situations, things do happen. They're in situations, but it's best not to say anything. Be like, can I get a lawyer? Or, I'm not going to say anything until I get a lawyer. I don't want to be recorded. I'm not saying nothing. They be like, we'll get you some McDonald's. We go get you some Taco Bell. Go get you some, we'll go get you some Olive Garden. We just need to know the story. We get you want a soda, you want a water, you want a juice, you want a smoothie. We'll get you anything. We just need to know what happened. Can you tell us what happened? The best thing to always say is, no, I need to wait to get a lawyer, because whatever you say can be used against you, and you can be incriminating yourself even when you're saying something very, very simple. It can be used against you. But y'all, let's continue.
So I don't think that was with the advice of counsel. And frankly, the question is going to be, can they admit that to show that he is as an indication of guilt in terms of him trying to disavow himself from something that's easily proven? So that could become a problem for him later on in the case.
Something you said very critical about mental health. So Conover was apparently very vocal during his arraignment, basically saying that New Hampshire state troopers, quote, brutalized him, and that he was being treated, quote, like an animal in jail. And then there's this.
If anyone dares try to test my mental confidence, I will eviscerate every single person with my intelligence right now. And that's not being egotistical.
Okay, Adante, that's...
He was tough. He was tough. Not only was he running from the police, hit the police. I mean, he's in jail talking like he is tough as nails, y'all. Is he not? Oh my goodness, y'all. Let's continue.
Quite the statement. Mental health issue at play. Mental health defense possibly at play.
That's an ill-advised statement, in my opinion, one that probably was not given with the advice and consent of his attorney, and one that may actually play towards helping him, even though if he might fight it, to show, look, right now he has some competency issues. He's going through a mental health crisis, and this is Exhibit A of that in terms of this statement. It's pretty strident, and frankly, if his attorney thinks that he is suffering from some type of mental defect, it's incumbent upon that attorney, and probably has a duty under the law, to make sure that that's evaluated and investigated, because that could aid in his defense for these charges.
Wow.
Going back to these charges and going back to a jury, if you have a victim who is a member of law enforcement and you have the testimony of law enforcement. In your sense, your experience, do you feel that juries will give more deference to the officers in this kind of case, their testimony, their observations, particularly, let's say, the victim, the alleged victim in this case, testifies? Talk to us about that.
Working with a
Let's
registered dietitian
skip
can be
this. Y'all, there's no way that he is getting out of this. Like, people really don't understand that once you try to you harm a police officer, I'm telling you, it's over for you. It is going to be very, very hard, especially if they have this drone footage. They said there was somebody in the area that was like, had a drone and caught the footage. Y'all, one thing you cannot fight is footage, surveillance, anything that is recorded on tape, video footage, anything like that. You can't fight that in court. It's like the hardest thing to fight. But y'all, let's continue.
Tried many cases. I've had cases wherein police claim to be a victim or police are witnesses in those cases. And oftentimes we give an admonition or an instruction to the jury as it relates to how to evaluate police testimony. You're not to give an officer more credibility or to place more weight on their testimony simply because they're a police officer. The reason why those instructions are often given to the jury, because almost as a natural reflex to watching and hearing and listening to an officer on the stand, jurors give officer testimony a lot of weight. And it's a hard road to climb for a defense attorney when they're challenging an officer's testimony. You have to have something that's objectively can be verified to show that the officer was lying or kind of shading the truth. And without that type of objective evidence, juries oftentimes admit and accept an officer's testimony with very little scrutiny.
Could the officer sue Conover for his injuries? I mean, anybody can sue anybody for anything, but it just becomes if it's a viable lawsuit. If he does decide to take legal action against Conover, what would you expect to see?
Yes, usually they probably, I think, before he answers it, I think that they can sue. I believe they can. I don't know for sure, but I believe the police officer probably can sue, especially knowing that he's a big YouTuber. Y'all know, he's a big YouTuber. He has over 3 million. Y'all know he's probably like a millionaire, probably. I don't know what his pockets or his bank account is reading, but more than likely he's probably up there. And then he's dealing with real estate and things of that sort. So if he does sue him for hitting him, he probably would get, a nice little penny. But let's see what they say.
At the time of this recording, I wasn't able to see any pending lawsuit, but do you think that that is a realistic possibility here? Especially, by the way, I don't know how much he'd be making on social media, but 3 million subscribers, million views, you could be making some significant money, and I'm not sure what Conover does for the rest of his time, but you have to wonder whether or not a lawsuit could be on the horizon.
I certainly expect the police officer victim here to evaluate all his legal options to figure out if he could bring a lawsuit against Conover for his injuries and what took place. Conover has...
Now, y'all put a 1 in the chat. Would y'all sue Conover? Would y'all put a lawsuit in if he ran you over while you was at work on duty trying to stop him? Would y'all put a lawsuit in? I know I would. I would put that lawsuit in a hot New York minute. Oh, this joker, he hit me while I was on duty. I tried to stop him, and then he hit me, and then he took off, and then they had to chase him for 28 miles. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I would sue him for everything everything I could sue him for. I'm just saying, I surely would. I would.
Has a substantial social media following. You'd expect that he's being paid pretty handsomely for his YouTube following. And with that being said, the officers would and could be looking at him to compensate him for the injuries he sustained. Of course, most states have workers' compensation laws. And so it may be a situation where the officer is only able to recover or to be paid and compensated for his injuries through the state. However, if there is a legal option for the officer to bring a lawsuit against Conover for the injuries sustained, expect that to happen, especially if there's a conviction here.
Wow.
That's a good point. By the way, this apparently, based on the reporting, wasn't Mr. Conover's first run-in with police this month. No, just a few days before this incident, where he allegedly tried to run over an officer, Conover was arrested for DWI. And it appears he was released after that arrest because he allegedly posted a photo on his Instagram page showing bruises on his wrist with a caption that said, "Ouch, cuffed up." didn't provide any other details, but in court, Conover denied that he was driving drunk, saying that he has been sober for more than 1,000 days, but he's still facing that DWI charge. Dante, that's a different element to the story.
Oh, so he had a DWI as well. Oh, so okay. So Conover is a con artist. It sounds like.
How do you think it affects the current charges he's facing with respect to the officer? I mean, will it? Is it two separate cases? It won't have an effect?
At this point, the previous case for DWI is just a charge. He hasn't been convicted. Although the judge can take that into consideration when determining whether or not to set bail or to allow him to once again go free on his own recognizance. However, as it relates to the criminal prosecution, the DA could look to that as more evidence of the fact that this is a person who was unhinged or unable to control himself and or may have been under the influence.
Yes, Tammy. Tammy says, I bet the cop got bruises too. Oh, yes, you know he got bruises. He had to go to the hospital, of course, because he was on duty. So, Tammy, I do believe he probably got bruises. He probably got pictures. Even the drone footage of the situation that happened. He has everything that he probably needs to go and put like some charges on him, right? I mean, that's crazy. Jazzy said, yes, Tammy, people be weird ASF shaking my head. They love negative people and hate positive. Oh, yes, absolutely. Tigra says the judge can use it or lose it. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, it's crazy. This is crazy, y'all. Let's continue.
Of alcohol or drugs in the previous incident and in the current incident. Of course, the attorneys are going to spar over that, or whether or not that evidence or that charge should be excluded from the charge of running over or attempting to run over this police officer. So that's going to be hotly contested during the course of this prosecution. And if by chance the judge allows that evidence in as relates to the prior DWI, that may be something that weighs heavily on the jury's mind if this case should get that far.
If you've been injured in a recent car accident,
I think that this police officer, I think that he should go ahead and put some charges on him, because what if he would have like unalived him? What if he would have unalived him, and then next thing you know, he probably had family, probably had kids, wouldn't be no longer here with us. If he would have hit him hard, like harder than what he did. I mean, that's a crazy thing. That's really crazy. That is crazy. But needless to say, y'all, I'm telling you, this situation is crazy. We gotta wait and see what is going to be the outcome of this situation, because I thought it was crazy. I mean, he's a huge YouTuber, almost 3 million subscribers, and then he ends up doing something like this, and then find out that he has a DWI as well. That is crazy. Like, that's like hideous. That's crazy, right? But y'all, I'm not going to keep y'all. We're going to keep up with the story if I can find more information. Whenever he goes to court, the next time he goes to court, and see what is going to be the outcome. Because, I mean, these charges, I think it's attempted murder, and these other charges that he has, this is going to be a hard pill, like a hard thing for him to swallow. It's not going to be a one and done type of thing. No, you're not going to he's probably going to be looking at least probably 10 to 15 years, possibly. When you do things to the police officers, y'all, it's hard to get out of cases like that. For real, I'm just saying. But y'all, I'm not gonna keep you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Always lead with love, peace, and tranquility. And y'all, I will see y'all in the next live.